Hey friends, hey family, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Crystal Blue. I do Christian content and I also do what's called the Word of the Day. I also have videos and shorts of me and my family having fun together. I also have inspirational shorts. So if you like what you see and hear, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. For those of you returning, happy Tuesday. Hope everyone is doing well. Today we're going to be reading from the book of Psalm again. If you remember yesterday, we read from the book of Psalm. Today we're going to be reading from it again, but in a different perspective. If you remember yesterday, we were talking about, a godly man who's the head of the household, how he will experience fruitfulness in his family and good things will come because he reveres God and he fears him and he loves him and he follows him. Well, today in Psalm 7, verses 15 through 16, we're kind of going to flip on the opposite that says, what happens if you don't? There's always consequences for actions that you take. So be careful what you do. So again, it's Psalm 7, verses 15 through 16. It says, whoever digs a hole and scoops it out falls into the pit they have made. That sounds about right. The trouble they cause recoils on them. Their violence comes down on their own heads. Now, when I read that first verse, I imagined somebody digging like a actual grave and then falling into it. Sometimes in our lives, we kind of make a mess of things and we literally dig a hole for ourselves. And we've dug such a deep hole that we do not know how to get out of it. And then it says, the trouble they cause recoils on them and their violence comes down on their own heads. If you're sitting here causing trouble, making a mess, and you keep doing it, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse. It's going to backfire. It's going to recoil. You're going to dig yourself in a hole. You're going to pretty much bury yourself in your own sin. So let's be mindful of what we're doing, what we're saying, how we're acting. Let's be mindful and walk this walk of Christianity the way that we're supposed to. Let's be careful of how we speak because there is the power of life and death is in the tongue, as we know. So we need to be mindful of what we say and actions that we take, the fruits of the Spirit. Forbearance, self-control. We have to learn how to keep everything under wraps, tone it down, be patient with one another. Because if we sit here and we're violent and we're angry and we're just making a mess and we keep on, it's only going to get worse and worse and worse and worse. It's not going to get better. So those of us who may be dealing with anger or violence or something like that, let's be mindful. I don't know how many of you are new to the faith. But sometimes as humans, obviously, when we're new to the faith, there are still things that we're dealing with. We're still trying to figure out how to deal with anger and jealousy. And these things come with time, just constantly reading and praying and asking the Lord to help you deal with these things and help you bear more fruits of the Spirit and try to be a better person, try to be more patient, try to have more self-control, try to be able to hone those emotions and those feelings in. Because if you let your flesh take over, it's only going to lead to a pit. And if you keep digging it, you're going to fall in, and that's going to be the end of you. So I would just encourage you guys that if you're dealing with anything like aggression or anger or violence or anything like that, stay prayerful. Ask people to pray for you, or even go to counseling if you need that, if it's just something that you can't seem to get under control. And I would recommend if you have friends or family members dealing with that, talk to them, encourage them, help them, let them know that there is relief on the other side, but you have to ask God to help you. What I always say in the mornings when I pray, I say, decrease, Lord, decrease my flesh and increase you. The devil wants us to be in the flesh and do whatever the flesh wants. He wants us to get angry and violent and bust holes in the walls. God wants our spirit. If we decrease our flesh and stop doing what the flesh wants and increase him in us, which is his spirit that is in us, we'll be more likely to do those things, be patient, have self-control, and bear all those fruits of the Spirit, and we'll be better off because the last thing we do is dig ourselves a hole and then fall into it, and that be our demise. Okay? So that's what I want to speak to you guys on today. I hope it encouraged you, and hopefully you can spread the word and pass it on to someone who may have help, who may need help in these areas or is trying to deal with this. All right? I love you guys. I'll be praying for you, and Lord willing, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.